Dear panelists, Priit, Inga, I welcome you back on the stage as we're about to embark on the second panel discussion. And let's see if Jelle is also with us.
I'm here.
Oh, you are? Well, you're prominently
yeah.
on the stage, so welcome to Tartu.
Thank you.
So I would like to again remind you, dear audience, that you can ask also questions using the Slido app and enter the event code Kultuurikompass. Many of you have already done so, and I'm going to do my best to ask all the questions. But I'm going to start with a question of my own, and that goes to Priit. Should we try hard to make people like us, or should we instead feel comfortable just the way we are?
I think that we should not like change ourselves or the core values that we have, but we should try hard to reach out to Europe, I think.
Jelle, what are your ideas on that question?
I think I can only fully agree. I think one of the great things about the European Couple of Culture program is that it offers people all over Europe to get to know other places besides the capitals in our countries as well, which all have a cultural life that is different from the cultural life that takes place often in the bigger cities. And I think it's an asset to learn these more regional cultures as well. So absolutely, stick to who you are with an open mind to people that are interested in your place or visit your year.
Inga, you mentioned that one of the directors who came to Tartu didn't really know what to expect and was kind of like not sure in a good way, if I understood you correctly. How did you convince him that he actually chose Tartu?
Actually, I must explain how international co-productions work. Then usually the international co-production, if you wants to benefit from the cash rebate scheme, has to find an Estonian co-producer who handles the whole process of writing the application, reporting and reimbursement. So Estonian co-producer is relevant for international co-productions, and then together they decide what would be the best place in Estonia where to shoot. Really, I must convince you that people probably know, largely due to the Black Nights Film Festival, very much Tallinn. It is one of the 15 A-class festivals in Europe. They've been to Tallinn, they've heard about it, but what happens in the regions, I mean in South Estonia or in Eastern Virumaa, it's terra incognita. You have to put it on the map. And basically, that's why Henrik Ruben-Gens, the director, said that he was a little bit apprehensive, actually, about coming to Tartu because he had no idea. And people often have prejudices, and we were very, very happy to convince him that we could provide a quality service, quality of accommodation, quality cuisine, a good and friendly atmosphere, and the whole crew and team were extremely happy with having this experience. And so this convinces us that we can provide it. And it's very important that it's the only way actually we can promote our region, we can promote our culture, we can promote our nature by having people come here.
Absolutely.
And the experience has been good so far.
Priit, we have a few questions from the audience for you. What would the event that you would want to visit be? Let me rephrase that. When you think about 2024 in Tartu, what kind of event would you want to visit?
I think that there should be, I'm looking for, I think, diversity or something not so common, like I can go there today or tomorrow, but I want to experience something new that I haven't experienced before. This means the trends some different kinds of culture put together.
But will there be something similar to the Metallica concert that you were showing?
We don't know yet, but I'm sure there will be large-scale public events as well. But right now in our development process, there are a couple of larger-scale events, but there will be, I promise you.
Jelle, I'm sorry to say, but I had never heard about Leeuwarden before.
Until 2018, I hope.
But I mean, how did you turn the fact that you're located kind of in a province to your advantage? How did you use that to your advantage?
Well, I think one of the things we see in other countries as well is that people in general have visited all the bigger cities that were European capitals of culture before. So in our case, Amsterdam, Rotterdam. And we also noticed that a lot of international organizations that we worked with that were based in Amsterdam, but also in bigger cities worldwide, were actually in particular very interested in exploring the region and the province as well. So I would say instead of using it as a weakness that our city was less known, we could actually turn it into a strength. Because all the bigger organizations that we worked with were used to organizing events in the city itself, also felt the need to set up partnerships with organizations in the region as well. And thanks to a European Capital of Culture, we could make maximum use of that.
How was the city seen by, well, the people who lived there, the cultural capital event, I mean, and by the rest of the Netherlands? Or did you mostly get like good feedback from abroad?
No, in general, it's always a bit difficult thing to mention hard figures, but when we look at ticket sales, for example, we saw that many people in the region visited the events that we organized. They also got great reviews in the national press. That was also something that was, well, I won't say new for us, but we saw that was more interest in journalists writing for national newspapers to actually visit events that we organized in the framework of a European Capital of Culture year. And we also saw that there was a lot of attention from the international press as well. But that was very much focused on the city and the region itself, and to a lesser extent on all the individual events that we organized.
Inga, there's a question for you from the audience, possibly someone wanting to shoot something in Tartu. How could one cooperate with the Tartu Film Fund, and what are the benefits of networks in building international partnerships?
Networks? Let me answer this question first. As I said, Tartu Film Fund is very lucky to be a member of the organization, all-European organization of regional film funds, Cineregio and Green Regio, and they coordinate and organize international co-productions, and they also do monitoring of what is happening in general on the audiovisual industry's landscape. So that means finding partners in the project is handled very often through the Cineregio. And it gives you the perspective, the big picture. I think it's very beneficial to us in many respects.
And how could one cooperate with the Tartu Film Fund? Perhaps someone's really anxious to do so.
How to collaborate or cooperate with the Tartu Film Fund? Do you mean by producing a film?
I would hope so.
Yes, that means that both Estonian productions and local co-productions can submit their applications. Applications are submitted actually on a rolling basis, and then they have to be approved by the city government.
A lot of paperwork?
Not the whole procedure is very easy, relaxed. You can be refunded quite easily without not much paperwork or bureaucracy. Certainly you need to have a good project. And so at the moment the volume of the film fund is up to 150,000 euros. So as we already have quite many applications, both international and local, involving producers or production companies, for example, from Finland, United States, then the competition is quite tough. But we actually have a very good selection of proposals at the moment. It's the question of funding, because of the COVID crisis, that things can be a little bit difficulter than they used to be, but we hope for the best, and we believe that there is a bright future for the Tartu Film Fund, what concerns also international co-productions.
There's a question for everyone, and I'm going to start with Priit. What is it that you look for as a culture tourist? When you go abroad, you want to enjoy some culture, what is it that gets your attention, Priit?
For me, actually, I'm quite fond of experiencing some live music concerts abroad. So it's been a hard year for me, so I haven't been in that many concerts in Estonia, but also abroad. Usually I try to go to see some of my favorite artists, and then of course I will experience some other things in the cities and in the region as well when I go there.
Jelle, same question for you.
Yeah, in general, I like to see a good exhibition when I visit a city.
How do you know
but
that
also
it's
I
good?
like to learn about the cultural heritage of a city, and as I'm from the Netherlands, I prefer to do so by bike, of course. So whenever I go somewhere abroad, I always try to book in a bike tour with a local guide and explore the cultural heritage of a city in that way.
But I mean, how do you know that it's good, an exhibition?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what I mentioned with good, also in relation to a European Capital of Culture program, is that I can see and visit an exhibition that tells something about the city itself. So it's not an exhibition that is independently organized from the city itself, but that what I see and what I visit has a link with the city and with the region. So it can be through, the famous character that was born in your city, for example. But for me, it's a way to learn more about the history and the context of a city.
So there has to be a local connection. Excellent. Your ideas as a cultural tourist, what do you look for?
For the cultural, I'm looking for a holistic cultural, intellectual experience. I want intellectual stimulation, but at the same time I want to take in the atmosphere, just watch people going by, interact with people to get an idea. And I think that what's very important, the first impressions count, and it always depends on what people you meet. If you get a connection to the people, you will enjoy the rest.
Now, I have a question for the panel, but I'm going to start again with Priit. A genuine artistic explosion can easily be turned into business models, as you already noted yourself. Now, but when I look at the cars parking near Telliskivi Creative City or Telliskivi Loomelinnak in Tallinn, I mean, they do get fancier every year, and the buildings get bigger, and you see a lot of real estate development. And I mean, maybe it's just me, but I think some spark, some of this crazy creativity might go missing with the Porsches and Ferraris and guys with nice suits having fancy lunches. How do you control gentrification, I believe it's called? And can we really be sure that Tartu, with aparaaditehas, for instance, which still has this kind of a raw and rustic vibe, can survive this, and we still preserve this this artistic, the original vibe that we still have very much present in Tartu? And do you actually see that as a threat, or do you only see opportunities there?
I think the whole culture is in constant development anyways, but of course there's always a question regarding the creativity versus the money behind it. So I hope that people still have the courage to pursue their crazy or big ideas regardless of the money, and I'm pretty sure that if you have a great idea, you will find the money to do it as well. At least I really hope so, that people still have the courage to do it. And regarding the nice cars in Tallinn, I visited a couple of years ago Dubai, and actually I think in Estonia the median car is much more costly than in Dubai. So yeah, it's I think that Estonians are like car freaks in that way.
The idea of my question, Jelle, maybe you can comment on that a bit more, is can money ruin things in a way? If we open the finances and make something that was originally perhaps rustical and very down to earth, make it shine, maybe we lose something with it. Should we think about it at least? What do you think, Jelle?
Well, I think when looking at European Cups of Culture programs, again, you can say that never all the money should go into cultural infrastructure. I mean, it's important to also have big festivals in the city, new festivals, underground festivals that are independent from cultural infrastructure. Of course, from a legacy point of view, it can be interesting to have a new building, a new shiny building, maybe even that reminds me of the European Capital of Culture year that you had. But I would say that we have reached a time, you also see that in the development of European Capitals of Culture, that the focus is very much on events nowadays.
Again, a question for everyone and a wider question. How do you build bridges on the local market so that everyone benefits? I mean, when we look at Tartu, how do you get the tourism sector on board, the restaurants on board, the hotels, perhaps the handicraft sector? Are you struggling with that, Priit, or are they queuing behind your office and really want to participate in Tartu 2024?
The European Capital of Culture project is very big regarding the number of partners that we are getting together. And of course, my everyday consists of different meetings with different partners. And of course, there are some sectors that we haven't got into yet, but anyway, of course, there are lots of partners and lots of ideas that who want to collaborate with us, and then we meet step by step with them and try to explain how the logic or even the program development goes right now, and it's mainly for us right now. I think it's basically a communication project as well, that we have to explain what the European Capital of Culture is and how we're going to do it, and so on and so on and so on.
Inga, do you have good examples from film production that you can give out here?
I don't know about film production, that's not so much, but Tartu Center for Creative Industries is also part of the Tartu 2024 program with another festival, and that is the International Performing Arts Festival Performa Borealis, that is planned to be a biennale festival that will, the first time will be during the European Capital of Culture, and it will continue. And as to that, our team at the Tartu Center for Creative Industries, we used to work for the Performing Arts Center Open Space in Tallinn, where we ran an international program And every 2 years we had a focus on different cultural areas. We had a curator from different cultural areas, respectively from Russia, German-speaking countries, and France. We collaborated very intensively with the embassies and the cultural institutes to put together a program. And consequently, we have quite a wide network, actually, of contacts and ties. We collaborate with Tampere Theatre Festival, with the New Theatre Institute of Latvia, with the National Theatre of Lithuania, who are all on board, and we have good ties from there. Actually, how to communicate a festival, we have experience from Narva, where we opened a venue. And we opened the venue with the International Performing Arts Festival, and from there we got a lot of experience how to reach target groups, different groups, by different means. So we could say that we're going to apply our experience in Tartu, and hopefully we'll be successful.
Jelle, do you have good examples or good lessons that you learned with getting all the players, all the sectors of the economy on board for the Cultural Capital program? What would you recommend Priit do?
Well, one of our target groups was also the what are called the visiting tourists, so tourists that are already visit the region already prior, in our case, to the European Capital of Culture, so 2016 or 2017. And we work together with the local leisure industry by organizing a road tour through the region in which we inform them about the European Capital of Culture year, so what the European Capital of Culture is, what they can expect of it, the kind of events that we organized, and we ended each meeting that we had with partners from the industry with a very practical workshop to see to actually bring different players together and also see what can you get out of the European Capital of Culture here itself. So if you are a camping site somewhere in our region, you can expect to have visitors for the European Capital of Culture program. What is the benefit for you as a camping site, and how can you become part of the program and part of the marketing of the program? So it's also very practical, just to make sure that brochures are available at the desks in hotels, at camping sites, etc.
I'm going to steal 2 minutes from the break and give Priit 2 last questions, not to disappoint the audience who's been so kind to post them on Slido. First of all, how do you blend nature and culture in the program? And second, a very more concrete question, how could a cultural operator or producer from Finland join Tartu 2024 program? So 2 questions, Priit, for you to wrap up.
For our friends in Finland, please contact us, and then we're going to find out how we can
If you want to, I can give you Priit's phone numbers.
Yeah. And regarding blending the nature and culture, we have a couple of actually very nature-friendly projects in our development process right now. So I'm sure that the beautiful nature of southern Estonia will be a big part of our title year in 2024.
No specific hints you want to give us?
Not yet.
All right. Let's build up this attention and curiosity. Dear panel, thank you so much. An applause for both the physical and virtual presentations.